Okay, Comp 2 folks, I hope that your weekend was restful and that you're ready to roll. My kiddos are just finishing up their 9 weeks of school. I may have mentioned this before, and my 7th grader, or 8th grader, gee, I can't even keep track, was just talking about how quickly the year has gone and all of this. And it's funny because I think he's just now starting to see how time, how when you get older, time goes a little faster and just have a different perspective on time. So it's kind of fun to travel that little road with him. Okay, here's where we're at this week, October 28th. Little Halloween action this week for you. Maybe lots of trick-or-treaters at your door. We tend to do that in our neighborhood. Anyway, or even if you don't celebrate Halloween, just the festival. We're definitely getting into that fall harvest time of year, aren't we? Okay, so October 28th through November 3rd is week 11 in our course, and we are going to start, drum roll please, into our research paper unit. The research paper for this course is the exam. It is the last paper of the course, so we've really gotten to this point. It's crazy. I want you to start thinking this week about your own interest areas. Maybe it's a topic we've touched on in course, maybe it's something you're talking about in another course, and basically I'm going to leave parameters really wide open for this research paper, and you're going to have to make it a persuasive or problem-solving paper per college standard. That's what Northwest State is doing with this final paper. This is going to replace a final exam. This paper is your final exam, and the stipulations for length and all of that are in your syllabus, in your course content. It is a longer paper, and generally speaking, we try to find one source for every page we're writing. So keep that in mind. Now, obviously, you don't just put one source in each page, but that's just a rule of thumb. All of those requirements are in the course, and I'll let you look those up later. What we're going to do this week is going to happen right between the ears, okay? We're going to look at, in our own lives, just like be on kind of a hunt for the topic that we would like to spend time researching. You might as well make it worth your time and enjoyable. I think of things that my own kids are bringing home as issues in education. I think of health issues that we deal with in our family or whatever. And I think, what would I really, if I could just sit down and spend time taking a stance on something and really knowing that what I believe about this is true, and I'd like to research and dig deep, what would that look like? For me right now, I'm doing a lot of research on blended and online learning. Shocking, right? But I would like to take it into the K-12 schools. So I've started a little company, and we're doing some consultation, and I'm reading a ton about the data that supports online and blended education for our K-12 students. That's my thing. I like to do that. I'm going to do that anyway. Try to find a topic that fits you that way. Or maybe it's just a fun topic. Maybe you're just really interested in a hobby that you just like to kind of farm out a little bit in terms of research. Now, here's the important thing again. It has to be persuasive or problem solving. So make sure that that is going to be the purpose of your research. What are we doing this week? Just this week, we're just doing a little bit of discussing. And I've given you about 6 articles to read. Some of these last names you're going to recognize, like Plato and Bloom. Judy Bloom from when you were younger. Skinner, as in the psychologist. Plato, as in Aristotle and Plato. Okay, so a lot of these names you're going to recognize. You do not have to use their topics to research your paper. The reason I put them in here is because all of them are taking a persuasive stance or are talking about sources or critical thinking. And so these are just food for thought. If there's something in these articles that you want to develop into your research paper, feel free. Great, you've got a head start in your research. If not, don't worry about it. This week we're focusing on discussing, and you can even throw your own research out there if you have kind of an idea of where you want to go with your paper. So read, discuss, start thinking about research paper. Next week, starting the first full week of November, we're going to launch into writing our proposal. So it'd be great if you could finish this week, not just having read and discussed, that's a pretty light workload really, right? But also having a topic that you think will work. Feel free to throw topics at me to see if they're what I'm looking for or whatever. Little cautionary tale. Try to stay away from tired out topics. Things that we're hearing about over and over again may not be your very best topic. And if it's a topic that you feel extremely passionate about, sometimes it's hard to keep your emotion out. And I think a little bit of emotion is good, but can also distract from your purpose of persuasion. So be careful with emotionally loaded topics. Those are my final words of advice. Have a great week, Comp 2. Bye-bye.